You know that sound, that little ping. You've heard it a billion times on your phone. Mark Zuckerberg made that sound, and that sound made him the fifth richest person on planet Earth. But right now, in 2026, Mark Zuckerberg doesn't care about that ping anymore. He cares about something much, much bigger. He wants to build a brain, not a human brain, not even close to a human brain. A brain smarter than every human who has ever lived, all at once. He's calling it superintelligence, and he is spending $135 billion to get it. That's more money than the entire country of Hungary makes in a whole year. This is the story of how the guy who built Facebook is trying to win the biggest race in human history, and why he might actually do it. Let's go back to the beginning. The year is 2004. Mark Zuckerberg is a 19-year-old kid at Harvard University in Cambridge, Massachusetts. He's sitting in his dorm room in Kirkland House. You can Google it. It still exists. Typing code in his pajamas. He builds a little website called thefacebook.com. It's just for Harvard kids at first. Then he opens it up to Stanford, Yale, and Columbia. Then, the whole world. By 2012, Facebook has 1 billion users. 1 billion. That means 1 out of every 7 people on Earth is using Mark Zuckerberg's dorm room project. He's only 28 years old. But here's the thing about Mark Zuckerberg that most people don't know. He never stops moving. The second Facebook gets big, he starts buying other things. In 2012, he buys Instagram for $1 billion. Everyone laughs at him. Instagram only has 13 employees at the time. $1 billion for 13 people and some photo filters? Those same people are not laughing anymore. Instagram is now worth hundreds of billions of dollars. In 2014, he buys WhatsApp for $19 billion. Then he buys the Oculus Verser headset company for $2 billion. Mark Zuckerberg has one rule. If something is going to be big, buy it before it gets big, or build it yourself. And right now, he thinks AI is about to be the biggest thing that has ever happened. Bigger than Facebook, bigger than the iPhone, maybe bigger than the internet itself. So what does Mark Zuckerberg do? He goes all in. Here's a number for you. $135 million. $135 billion. That is how much Meta, that's what Facebook's company is called now, is planning to spend on AI in just 2026 alone. To put that in your head, that is more money than NASA has spent on the entire James Webb Space Telescope project, times about 400. That is more money than Disney, Netflix, and Nike make combined in a year. Meta is spending almost twice what it spent in 2025. Between 2022 and 2025, Meta already spent $140 billion on AI. And that wasn't enough for Zuckerberg, so he's doubling down. Where is all this money going? 3 places. Servers, these are giant rooms full of computers. Meta is building them everywhere. Data centers, these are like warehouses, but instead of boxes, they're full of blinking machines that think. People, the smartest AI scientists in the world. And Zuckerberg is offering them numbers so big, some offers have 9 figures. That means over $100 million for one person. Why would anyone spend this much money? Because the prize is everything. The company that wins the AI race doesn't just win money, it wins the future. Now let's talk about something that really hurt. It's April 5th, 2025, a Saturday morning. Most people are sleeping in, making pancakes, watching cartoons with their kids. At Meta headquarters in Menlo Park, California, engineers are clicking publish on something huge. They are releasing Llama 4. Llama, like the fluffy animal, but also an acronym, LLMA, Large Language Model Meta AI. Llama 4 comes in 3 versions. Llama 4 Scout, small and fast, fits on a single H100 GPU, which is a special kind of chip made by a company called NVIDIA. Llama 4 Maverick, bigger and smarter. Llama 4 Behemoth, so big and powerful, it isn't even finished yet when they announce it. Zuckerberg says Llama 4 Behemoth can beat GPT 4.5 from OpenAI and Gemini 2.0 from Google on math and science tests. He releases Llama 4 Scout and Maverick for free on a website called Hugging Face, where millions of developers download AI models. The tech world goes crazy. For about 48 hours, it feels like Meta is winning. But then things go sideways. People start testing the benchmarks. Those are the test scores Meta used to say their AI was great. And Yann LeCun, Meta's own chief AI scientist, who is also one of the most famous AI researchers on the planet, the guy who literally won the Turing Award, which is like the Nobel Prize for computer science. Yann LeCun tells the Financial Times newspaper that Meta fudged some of those scores, that the numbers were made to look better than they really were. That's like your teacher catching you erasing a wrong answer after the test. That is not a good look, and it hurts. Bad? After the Llama 4 mess, Mark Zuckerberg does something very Mark Zuckerberg. He doesn't feel sorry. He doesn't give up. He goes shopping. Big time shopping. June 12, 2025, Zuckerberg announces Meta is investing $14.3 billion into a startup called Scale AI. Scale AI is a company that helps train AI models by labeling data, basically teaching AI what things are. But the real reason Zuckerberg wants Scale AI isn't just the company, it's the CEO. His name is Alexander Wang. He's 28 years old. He started Scale AI when he was 19, just like Zuckerberg started Facebook. Zuckerberg calls him the most impressive founder of his generation. He brings Alexander Wang to Meta and gives him a brand new job title that has never existed at Meta before, Chief AI Officer. He puts Wang in charge of a brand new lab called Meta Superintelligence Labs, or MESL, which is announced on June 30th, 2025. This lab has one job: build AI that is smarter than any human being. And to make sure MESL has the best team, Zuckerberg does something OpenAI's CEO Sam Altman calls completely out of line. He poaches employees from OpenAI, from Google DeepMind, from Anthropic. He offers them so much money that OpenAI sends out an internal email saying, quote, "I'll fight to keep every one of you." That is not something a confident company says. That is something a scared company says. Okay, stop. Before we go any further, we need to talk about something you can buy at Best Buy right now. They are called Meta Ray-Ban display glasses. They look like regular Ray-Ban sunglasses. You know Ray-Bans. Everyone knows Ray-Bans. James Dean wore Ray-Bans. Tom Cruise wore Ray-Bans in Top Gun. But these Ray-Bans have a tiny screen inside the lens. They have a 12-megapixel camera on the frame. They have open-ear speakers so you can hear music without headphones. And they have Meta AI built in. You look at a restaurant and say, "Hey Meta," and it tells you the reviews. You look at a street sign in French and it translates it for you in real time. You're walking through Central Park in New York and you say, "Hey Meta, what bird is that?" And it tells you it's a red-tailed hawk. They cost $799, and people are buying them like crazy. In 2025, the company that makes Ray-Bans, a French-Italian company called EssilorLuxottica, sold over 7 million pairs. That is triple what they sold in 2023 and 2024 combined. Demand got so high that Meta had to delay the international launch because they ran out of glasses in the United States. Meta and EssilorLuxottica are now talking about making 20 million pairs by the end of 2026. Zuckerberg also released Oakley Meta glasses for athletes. You know Oakley, the sunglasses every pro cyclist wears in the Tour de France. Now those have AI in them too. Why does this matter for the AI race? Because of what the glasses do. They see what you see. They hear what you hear. They learn your habits, your neighborhood, your face. No other AI company, not OpenAI, not Google, not Apple, has a device like this that 7 million people are actually wearing on their faces every single day. Zuckerberg isn't just building an AI, he's building an AI that knows you. Here's where Zuckerberg's plan starts to make a lot of sense. On Meta's Q4 2025 earnings call, that's when a company tells Wall Street how much money they made, Zuckerberg said something that stopped everyone cold. He said, Meta now has more than 3.5 billion people using at least one of its apps every single day. 3.5 billion. Every single day. Let's make that real. The United States has 330 million people. The European Union has 450 million people. China has 1.4 billion people. India has 1.4 billion people. Meta's daily users are more than the population of China and India combined, plus almost every other country on Earth. People use Facebook to see their grandma's photos. People use Instagram to watch Reels. People use WhatsApp to text their friends in Brazil, India, Nigeria, Germany. People use Messenger to call their parents for free. And right now, Meta AI, the AI assistant built into all these apps, has over 1 billion monthly users. Zuckerberg said on that earnings call, there is no other company that is as good as us at taking something and getting it in front of billions of people. He's right. ChatGPT from OpenAI has about 400 million users. Google Gemini is in a lot of products, but people have to choose to use it. Meta AI is just already there, already on your WhatsApp, already on your Instagram, already on your Facebook. You don't have to download anything new. You don't have to make a new account. You just tap. That is a superpower that Sam Altman at OpenAI and Sundar Pichai at Google are very, very nervous about. Now here's the move that makes Zuckerberg different from everybody else in this race. He's giving his AI away for free. Llama, all the versions, going all the way back to Llama 1 in February 2023, is what they call open source or open weight. That means any developer in the world can download it, change it, use it, build on top of it, for free, with no permission from Meta. In the tiny country of Portugal, a single developer can download Llama 4 and build a customer service bot for a local bakery. In Nigeria, a college student can take Llama and build an app that helps farmers check crop prices. In South Korea, a hospital can use Llama to help doctors read X-rays faster. OpenAI doesn't let you do that with ChatGPT. Google doesn't let you do that with Gemini. Anthropic doesn't let you do that with Claude. Zuckerberg's plan is this: if millions of developers around the world build things using Llama, then Llama becomes the standard. Like how Android, Google's free phone software, is now on more than 70% of all smartphones on Earth. Google gave Android away for free. And now, Google is everywhere. Zuckerberg wants Llama to be the Android of AI, and it's working. Llama models are available on Hugging Face, the biggest AI model library in the world. They're on Amazon Web Services. They're on Microsoft Azure. They're on Google Cloud. Your competitors are literally selling your product for you. That is either genius or insane. Zuckerberg thinks it's genius. But January 2025 brought something scary to Meta. Something that woke everyone up. A little-known Chinese AI company called DeepSeek dropped a model called DeepSeek R1. And it was shockingly good as GPT-4o from OpenAI. But here's the part that made Silicon Valley choke on its coffee. DeepSeek built it for a fraction of the cost. While OpenAI and Meta were spending hundreds of millions of dollars to train their models, DeepSeek figured out how to do it way cheaper. In one day, the Nasdaq stock market lost nearly $1 trillion in value. NVIDIA's stock, the chip company whose chips everyone uses for AI, dropped almost 17% in one day. That was the biggest single-day loss of market value for any company in the history of the U.S. stock market. At Meta headquarters in Menlo Park, they literally set up war rooms to figure out how DeepSeek did it. Teams of engineers stayed up through the night reading DeepSeek's code, which was published publicly, looking for clues. What they found changed Meta's whole strategy. They realized the AI race wasn't just about how smart your model is, it was about how cheap you can make it, and who can make it run on the smallest device possible. Like, say, a pair of Ray-Ban sunglasses. Let's go back to Meta Superintelligence Labs, because this place is wild. It's only been around since June 30th, 2025. It has about 3,000 employees, but it has people who used to work at literally every major AI company in the world. People from OpenAI, people from Google DeepMind, which is the AI lab that beat human Go players with a program called AlphaGo. People from Anthropic, which was started by ex-OpenAI employees. Zuckerberg also brought in Nat Friedman, former CEO of GitHub, the website where basically all the world's code lives, to co-lead the lab with Alexander Wang. But here's the messy part. By late 2025, there are reports that Alexander Wang is frustrated. The Financial Times reports that Wang has complained to people that Zuckerberg is micromanaging, that Zuckerberg is making every little decision himself, that it's slowing things down. And then Yann LeCun, the Turing Award-winning scientist who is Meta's chief AI scientist, the guy who basically invented a key part of modern AI called convolutional neural networks, reportedly steps down rather than report to Wang. Internal drama. In one of the most important labs on Earth, while billions of dollars are on the line, while OpenAI is releasing new products every week, while Google just launched Gemini 2.0, while Elon Musk's company xAI is pushing Grok 3, this is what the AI race actually looks like up close. Not clean and calm and perfect. Messy, human, very expensive. Here's the part nobody talks about enough. How does Meta afford all of this? Simple answer: Instagram Reels and Facebook ads. In the fourth quarter of 2025, Meta made $59.9 billion in revenue. In just 3 months, that's more money than most countries spend on education in a year. For all of 2025, Meta made $201 billion. Net income, that's profit after all the bills, was $22.8 billion just in Q4. When Zuckerberg got on the earnings call on January 28, 2026, he told investors he was going to spend $115 to $135 billion on AI in 2026. Most CEOs would be terrified to say that. Investors would usually panic, but Meta's stock went up 6 to 10% after that call. Wall Street said, "Go ahead, Mark, we trust you." Why? Because AI is already making Meta's ads better. When you scroll through Instagram Reels, an AI picks which video you see next. That same AI is getting smarter because of Meta's new models. Smarter AI means you watch more videos. More videos means more ads. More ads means more money. More money means more AI. It's a loop. A very profitable loop. By end of 2025, Meta had $81.6 billion in cash sitting in the bank. That's enough to buy Coca-Cola and still have change left over. Remember when we said Llama 4 is free for the whole world? Well, almost the whole world. When Meta released Llama 4 in April 2025, there was one group of people who couldn't use it. People in the European Union. 27 countries, 450 million people. Blocked. Why? Because the EU has very strict privacy laws called the GDPR, the General Data Protection Regulation. And they have the new EU AI Act, which is the first big law in the world specifically about artificial intelligence. Meta says these laws make it too complicated and too risky to release Llama in Europe, which makes European developers very angry, and European politicians even angrier. It also shows how complicated this race really is, because the AI race isn't just about who has the best model, it's about who can operate in the most countries, it's about who can stay out of legal trouble, it's about who can avoid the European Commission, the powerful government office in Brussels. Belgium, that has already fined Google billions, fined Apple billions, and fined Meta itself $1.2 billion back in 2023 for how it handled Facebook user data. These are not small problems, these are billion-dollar headaches, and Zuckerberg has to deal with them while also building a superintelligence lab. Let's talk about the other guys, because a race needs more than one runner. Sam Altman runs OpenAI, the company that built ChatGPT. ChatGPT launched in November 2022 and became the fastest-growing consumer app in history, hitting 100 million users in just 2 months. OpenAI is now valued at over $300 billion. They make GPT-4o, the model that most people think of when they think of AI chatbots. Altman is building something called the Stargate Project with SoftBank and Oracle, a plan to invest $500 billion in AI infrastructure in the United States over 4 years. That's a lot of data centers. Then there's Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google. Google has Gemini, which is their AI model. Google has Google Search, 8.5 billion searches per day. Google has YouTube, the second biggest website on the entire internet. Google has Android, the operating system on most of the world's phones. If anyone has distribution to rival Meta, it's Google. And then there's Demis Hassabis, the CEO of Google DeepMind. He's the guy whose team created AlphaFold, the AI that solved how proteins fold, which scientists called one of the greatest scientific achievements in 50 years. He won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 2024 for it. DeepMind is one of the most respected AI research labs on Earth, and it's inside Google. So Zuckerberg isn't racing against one person. He's racing against Sam Altman's checkbook, Sundar Pichai's distribution, and Demis Hassabis' brain at the same time, while managing drama at his own lab. So why would anyone bet on Zuckerberg? Let's count the reasons. Reason 1, the network. No company on Earth has what Meta has. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger, Threads, 3.5 billion daily users. When Meta adds AI to its apps, it doesn't need to convince anyone to download something new. It just turns it on. Reason 2, the glasses. 7 million Ray-Ban Meta glasses sold in 2025, potentially 20 million by end of 2026. This is a real device that real people are actually wearing. Not a prototype, not a demo at CES in Las Vegas, a real product with a real camera. That teaches Meta AI what the world looks like through your eyes. Reason 3, open source. Llama is free. Millions of developers use it. Every app built on Llama is free marketing for Meta. Every company that depends on Llama becomes a reason for Meta to succeed. Reason 4, the money. Meta made $201 billion in revenue in 2025. That money comes from ads that get better every time their AI gets better. It's an engine that feeds itself. Reason 5, the hunger. In 2021, Zuckerberg bet everything on the metaverse. He changed Facebook's name to Meta. He spent $46 billion on Reality Labs, the division that makes the Quest VR headsets and the Ray-Ban glasses. Most people said he was crazy. The press called it the biggest mistake in tech history. The Wall Street Journal ran articles saying he was destroying the company. And then, the Quest 3 became the best-selling VR headset in the world. The Ray-Ban Meta glasses became a genuine hit. Reality Labs is still losing money, but the losses are slowing down. Zuckerberg was laughed at, and then he kept going anyway. That is the thing about Mark Zuckerberg. He does not stop. Okay, let's slow down and explain the big word. Superintelligence, what is it? Right now, ChatGPT can write an essay. Gemini can write code. Meta AI can help you plan a trip to Tokyo. They're smart, but they're tools. You use them like a hammer or a calculator. Superintelligence is different. Superintelligence doesn't wait for you to ask it a question. It figures things out on its own. It could look at all the scientific papers ever written about cancer, millions of them, and figure out a cure that no human ever thought of. It could look at the global economy and figure out how to end poverty. It could write better software than any programmer alive. It could design a new Boeing airplane that is 10 times safer and uses half the fuel by itself, without being asked. That's what Zuckerberg is trying to build. That's what Meta Superintelligence Labs wakes up every morning trying to do. And in April 2026, they took their first step. Meta Superintelligence Labs released a new model called Muse Spark. It's not Llama anymore. It's something new, something proprietary, meaning only Meta controls it. It's the first sign that the Superintelligence Lab is actually building something. Alexander Wang called Muse Spark an appetizer, just a taste of what's coming. Let's not forget something important. All of this, the labs, the glasses, the Llama models, the billions and billions of dollars, is paid for by one thing: ads. When you scroll Instagram and you see an ad for Nike shoes, Meta made money. When you watch a video on Facebook and an Amazon ad plays before it, Meta made money. When a small business in Chicago pays to promote their restaurant on Facebook Marketplace, Meta made money. And AI is making those ads better. Zuckerberg said on his January 2026 earnings call that AI-driven performance gains helped Meta have record-breaking holiday demand in Q4 2025. Meta's AI watches what you like on Instagram Reels. It watches how long you pause on certain videos. It notices that you bought running shoes from an ad last month, and it shows you running socks this month. That's not creepy. That's, well, okay, maybe it's a little creepy, but it works. And every dollar those ads make goes straight into the Superintelligence Lab, straight into more NVIDIA H100 chips, straight into more data centers being built in Texas, Ohio, Iowa, and Singapore, straight into the salaries of the scientists who are trying to build the most powerful brain ever made. So here's where we land. It's 2026. The AI race is real. The money is real. The competition is real. And the prize, whoever builds true AI superintelligence first, changes everything. Not just in tech, in medicine, in science, in energy, in every single job that exists. Mark Zuckerberg is 41 years old. He built Facebook in a dorm room at Harvard when he was 19. He bought Instagram for $1 billion when people laughed at him. He bought WhatsApp for $19 billion when people said he was insane. He bet everything on the metaverse and people said he was done. Now he is spending $135 billion in 1 year to build a brain smarter than any human. And he has 3.5 billion people in his pocket to help him do it. Sam Altman has ChatGPT and Stargate. Sundar Pichai has Google Search and YouTube. Demis Hassabis has DeepMind and a Nobel Prize. Elon Musk has Grok and XAI and a very loud X account. But Zuckerberg has something none of them have. He has your grandma's Facebook account, your group chat on WhatsApp, your Instagram Explore page, your face on your Ray-Ban sunglasses. Every single day, 3.5 billion times over. The boy who built a college website is now trying to build God-level intelligence. And nobody, not Wall Street, not Silicon Valley, not the European Commission, is laughing at Mark Zuckerberg anymore. That is the story of how Mark Zuckerberg plans to win the AI race. Not by being the smartest, not by being the fastest, but by already being inside the pocket of half the people on Earth. If this video helped you understand what's happening in AI right now, hit subscribe, because this race is just getting started. And I promise you, you are going to want to keep watching.